Out lunch. We'll get that in here sometimes. We have the Spirit just break out in power in here. We've got people being healed at like 2:30, and it's amazing. And I'm like, I'm hungry. And I'm missing what's happening because I'm focused on myself, and that's probably prodding me to a different place of maturity. But the point is that these people are also hungry. So Jesus calls the apostles up, and there's a couple of them that come up. Andrew, Philip, he talks to Philip specifically, but John and James and Simon are up there as well. So what he does is he says, hey, do you have food to feed these people? And they're like, no, we don't have food. Send them away to go buy their own food, which probably means they're going to go ransack the countryside, and that's not a good solution. But where does the solution come from? So that's the small picture with Jesus and his apostles. You want to look at the big picture where there's 5,000 and more people, and there's a little boy who comes up there with his Lunchable, and he's got a little bit of food, and he might be the only guy. He actually is apparently the only guy in the entire crowd with food. And he's got it with him. And he's looking at it. And he's like, I might eat this. I'm hungry. And one of the apostles comes up, and they're like, hey, we found food. Let's give it to the master. Now, the boy has a choice. I don't think they would have taken him by sword point and extorted the food from him, because that is clearly not in God's heart. Am I right? Okay, so it was willingly given over. But how many realize what the boy was giving over? He's in a crowd of people that are hungry. He's the only one there with food. He's hungry. And he looks at it and he goes, you know what? I think I'll give this to God. I think I will give this to Jesus to take care of. And I think that's a really great picture of how we can look at our own life, right? We have all of these things in our life that we value. We have all of these things that we value greatly. Maybe these are entertainments. Maybe these are things that are our diversions. This is our escape. This is how we find our release. This is important to me. But it takes time and money. And when we give that over, we have growth in our own life, but it also has benefits and blessings for those around us. And so the boy gives, and spoiler alert, 5,000 people feast on fish and breadsticks, and there's 12 baskets left over. But we go back to the boy being willing to sacrifice that which was precious to him for Jesus. So I just want to challenge you on that. It isn't John 6. It's probably Luke 9. But John 6 has the one with the boy. I'll tell you, because I spent some time trying to find it. I went through the synoptic gospel. Not a story we're talking about, sorry. Anyways, the boy is in John. That's why I was using John, not the other Gospels.
John 6.
John 6. Thanks, Alan. Weatherford. So here's wrapping this up. Here's bringing this home. We sacrifice, and in that sacrifice we find our resurrection. And in that resurrection we find our life. And that's a theme in the Christian life. That's something you can look at in all levels of maturity and be like, I see where the sacrifice happened. I see where the resurrection happened in their spirit. And I see where they walked in life because of that. So I just want to challenge you on that today. If you're taking notes, journal it. If you're text messaging yourself, text message yourself. And I think I'm going to split up into groups. You got it? Nope. I'm thirsty.
Yeah. Let's give Robert a hand. That's a good job. For somebody that's not spent a day in Bible college or seminary, he does pretty well getting into the Word, doesn't he? He's a pretty intelligent feller here. So we're glad to have him. Couple of things, and unfortunately, Justin and Paige have left. Tonight was actually their last night to lead worship. They feel like God is calling them to a different direction, and so we wanted to bless them, but I guess they had to step out for get some stuff done. And so the next time they're here or whenever, we'll want to make sure that we do that. So, but the other thing too is we've got Christina here, who is about to take a really important test. She's freaking out over it over here, right here. This is a test. This is a test to determine whether or not she gets into a nursing program. Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. So we're gonna want to pray over her as well. But for tonight, I want to encourage you. We'll do that in just a minute. But I want to just take a few minutes, and I want you to get in groups of 2 or 3, just real quickly for the kind of activation tonight. I just want you to get kind of groups 2 or 3, and I want you to ask this question, or actually I want you to answer this question, and that is this: where is it in my life that I need to release the testimony of Jesus a little bit more? You see, it says that the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. And every week we get up here, we do it. We give a testimony of what God is doing, and we speak into it, right? Every time you testify about Jesus, you're actually releasing the kingdom of heaven to work in that person's life. It's not always about getting people saved. Sometimes it's just about letting people encounter God. And one of our values here at Vibe is to represent God. That's a value here. If you leave here and you don't know how to represent God, I have failed. That's the standard I hold myself to. That's just for me. If you come to Vibe and you don't know how to represent God to the world around you, then I have failed. Now, I can't force feed you it, and I can't make you do it, but at least need you to know how you did it. So, again, what area is it in my life where I need to release the testimony of Jesus maybe a little bit more? Just one area. If you got 5, you can share 5 if your group will let you. But really, just one. Just find that one place. And then I want you to pray over each other. And we're going to do this real quick because we've only got 7 minutes, okay? So groups of 2 or 3, no more than 3. Yes. Well, area. No. Robert listed a few of the different areas. Maybe it's with your family. Maybe it's at work. Maybe it's in the friends that you socialize with. Maybe it's in some relationships in another area. Maybe it's just being bold. Maybe you've got that down, and maybe it's just, hey, I need to be bolder when I'm in public. Maybe it's bold. Maybe it's I need to be bolder when I'm at the checkout stand at Walmart and I look and see the lady who's checking me out has a broken hand, and I just need to share the. I don't know. I mean, it's up to you. It's wherever you want to go. And it could be some area you need to follow up in the past. Okay? Does that clarify it a little bit more? Okay. On your mark, get set, go.